Welcome in to No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. We are back this week with a first-time guest, I believe, on No Pun Intended, but not the first time with us. He originally appeared in his first time with us back during our COVID draft that we did, the COVID online live draft, where we did the I Was Sticker Bitch, if you remember all the way back then. Best sticker bitch in the game. But we are here today with Josh Brickner. We are talking team previews for the Los Angeles Rams, Brickner's Cleveland Browns, so that's very fitting, and the Baltimore Ravens. 3 teams, 2 in the AFC North, 1 lone NFC West team that we'll be talking about today. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zolo, and you may see there's one panel missing. Thankfully, he's not here tonight because
so rude, Joe.
So rude. No, Ryan is currently in a hotel room, and as many of you know, hotels don't tend to provide the best free Wi-Fi in the world. So Ryan was weary that he would interrupt the show, so he just took a step back today. I am sure he's watching
we applaud
right now.
your sacrifice, Ryan.
Yes, thank you, Ryan, for sacrificing so much for everything you do. It's just me and Josh. It's actually 2 Joshes. We replaced Ryan with another Josh. Josh Brickner, how are you, man?
I'm doing great, Joe. Other Josh, thanks for having me. I as you mentioned, the mock draft that turned into a real league. I'm the reigning champion of said league, so I'm excited to defend my title. Hopefully, we're doing a live draft again. I'm hoping on air, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
We'll probably have to talk after the show, actually,
Right.
to figure out what kind of settings you want to add to this, because that was kind of the rule for the winner that they would pick that. So yeah,
we're at least doing super flex. I'll tell you that much.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
Can you add an IDP in there, please?
No chance. Absolutely not. If I won, no IDP. Thank you. Not an IDP guy.
You got to win to get IDP, Joe.
That's right. Win and make us all suffer.
I'm going to win if I get IDPs. That's why I want them in the league. All right. Today we are talking the Los Angeles Rams, Cleveland Browns, and the Baltimore Ravens. And how fitting to have the Rams this week, because Cam Akers, his Achilles decided to just break and not work, which means he's out for the season, because Achilles tends to take about 10 months if you're lucky to recover from that. I mean, a normal human being, it takes at least a year, but these freak athletes, they can recover quicker. But no way he recovers even in time for the fantasy playoffs, which would be in just a little over 3 months at this point. Which is crazy to say. So Cam Akers out for the season with a ruptured Achilles. We will get to the Darrell Henderson talk and other running back talk potential with the Rams in a second. But first, upside, downside, all that fun jazz. Ryan has Matt Stafford. Josh, you have Tyler Higbee. You good, bro? You good? You know who you typed in there?
Just checking.
Yeah. I'm aware. Yeah.
Okay.
This is literally a reaction to the Cam Akers injury.
Okay. Sure. Cool. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm far off the Higbee train, but his stock will go up as a result of this injury.
Fantastic. Downside, you both put Darrell Henderson. Shocking. Trustfall, Ryan. Actually, you both have Robert Woods. Sorry, Ryan put Trees, and I was very confused. It wasn't Bobby Trees.
Bobby Trees, baby.
Bobby Trees.
I was confused. I'm like, oh, they have 2 different names. Nope, it's the exact same person. Rookie to watch, Jacob Harris. I couldn't even tell you what position he plays. My guess is receiver. Tight end? Oh, well.
Yeah, I mean, he was technically a wide receiver in college, but they're
nailed it.
kind of making him a tight end.
Now he's
6'5", 220. So.
Yeah, now he's just a bigger receiver. That's all. That's what a tight end is. My sleeper, Van Jefferson. Don't draft him. It's just he's there. and I basically get the scraps for who I get to pick as my sleeper sometimes. And Van Jefferson ended up
what
being
sleepers
there.
are, though. They're scraps, right?
Yeah, but when there's like other guys that like I'm confident in, like I'm confident in them, Van Jefferson was just, was just the guy sitting in the toilet bowl that I had to pluck out, and that's who Van Jefferson is. My IDP is Micah Kaiser. Again, I try not to repeat or give you obvious ones because obviously Aaron Donald has my heart and will forever be my defensive lineman 1 in fantasy football. I don't care how old he is, regardless. He's my DL 1. Micah Kaiser is the middle linebacker. I believe he only played 9 games last year, but very fast, very quick, can both play the run and the pass. There's no one else on that defense that's going to tackle at the second level and arguably even the third level. Taylor Rapp is good, but he wasn't as good last season. Micah Kaiser had a great season when he was healthy. I think he has a good season this year as well for IDP. Probably not a starter, but definitely a solid backup to have. Or if you're in a deep league, he's probably going to be your linebacker 2 on your team. All right. I mean, that's just... You know what? I don't even want to start with questions. Brickner, you have Matt Stafford and Robert Woods as your good and bad players. I'm going to be honest, I don't fucking care about that because I just want to talk about the backfield. I just want to talk about the backfield at this point. Like what the hell? Like literally, Stoner in our four-eyed draft took Cam Akers, and I shit you not, 2 hours later, Cam Akers hurt and out for the season.
That's the worst time. I mean, is there worse timing than that?
It was
literally being in a draft and having
utterly
your guy
terrible
tear
timing.
his ACL. Wow.
Utterly terrible timing. So, and this is
I would have had to have fought the urge to rage quit after that. I'm not even lying.
I would have flipped the table at that point. Now, I believe I'm looking at this correctly. Fantasy Pros has taken Cam Akers out of their ADP right now.
As they should.
That's good.
As they should have. That is 100% correct. As they should have. So the big thing I want to talk about is where is Darrell Henderson kind of sitting for you in drafts, Brickner, realistically? Because right now, like, there's going to be so many people that are going to reach for him in like the 7th round, and I feel like that's just like crazy.
He went in the 6th in our 4-eye championship draft.
I was about to say that seemed pretty low, but by the time the summer, by the time a month from now, he might be going in the 4th or 5th.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think like right now people are gonna like low key, but then there's gonna be hype,
right?
Potentially. Yep. So, right now you're heading into it right with the information you have. Where is Darrell Henderson sitting for you, at least?
I mean, I think it's all hype personally, and I'm not going to take him above if he's there in like, if I can get a value in maybe the 8th or 9th round, I'll take him, but he'll never be there in any draft you're going to do in the next month and a half. So I'm not buying it. I feel like they're going to use more of a committee. I still think they're going to sign a veteran. And I feel like the water's going to muddy more. That I liked Henderson, and actually our friend stepmom Lauren actually sniped me in the Dave Matthews division of the Scott Fish Bowl. I was going to take Henderson. I want to say it's the 13th, 14th round. So I'm like, maybe he's a little underrated now.
She's got to be feeling good about that pick.
She's probably feeling fantastic. Well, I sniped. We were on different sides, but I'm like, Henderson will probably make it back around to me. He did not, because she's smart and picked him up. So I just think people are setting themselves up for a letdown. Call me crazy, but I think him and Akers, I think he would have been a great value, because I think Akers might have been a little overvalued. I know that's gonna make people mad, but I think I'm passing on him. I am. People assume he's just going to be this 25 touch bell cow. I'm not sure. A game. I don't know. What do you guys think?
So, Joe, I know we'll eventually get to a whole would you rather segment on Darrell Henderson.
Of course,
because if he's going in the 6th, 7th, 8th round, I'm sure there's backs that you can pick from this. So when the news broke, I was literally finishing the very last team in my projection. So I was like, all right, let me go back to the Rams real quick. Let me readjust, kind of figure out how this will work out. Here's the thing. In my current projections, after I redid everything, I have him currently at RB21, which I don't love. Like, he's one of these guys that, all right, could I see him being an RB2? 1,000%. Absolutely. Will it be an exciting RB2? Absolutely not. But between now and the start of the season, there is so much time for McVay and the Rams and Les Snead, the GM, to be like, all right, which veteran can we bring in that can compete? Which running back is maybe out of touch in a depth chart that maybe is going to fall victim to a rookie that came in? Or who is exactly? I mean, maybe they pull the trigger for a James Robinson, you know? Well, Joe, you've mentioned it 1,000 times. Urban Meyer is putting the band back together with Carlos Hyde. Maybe he just trots out Carlos Hyde in this work-heavy role to complement Travis Etienne, and Robinson falls by the wayside. That opens up an opportunity. Les Snead can pull the trigger, bring in a veteran that, hey, was a 1,000-yard rusher last year and could potentially be that for the Rams this year. Josh, I'm with you. Akers was my downside heading into this week. I was very much on board with the fact that he was being very overvalued, considering he did, I don't want to say nothing, but really next to nothing, because it was an extremely small
almost
sample.
Yeah.
We were drafting him.
He almost lost me a semifinal game. Yes.
Exactly. Like we were drafting him at a ceiling, and that's exactly what we were doing with Miles Sanders last year, much to my breaking heart. But you know, that's just kind of what I felt with Akers. But again, I see the potential because we saw how McVay deployed Todd Gurley in the same offense. If you feel that Cam Akers could be that and had that type of ceiling, then absolutely he was a value at RB12 or 11 or what it was, because he was likely going to finish top 5 because he was going to get all the receptions. He was going to get all the carries. But he was banged up last year. He had some injury stings here and there at FSU. Could he be relied upon for that length of time over a full 17-game schedule? Now, I don't know. I'm of the mindset that Henderson can't be that either. So that's why I'm kind of like, I'll say cautiously optimistic that you actually get an RB21 finish. But I'm not going to draft him at RB21 because I don't actually think that's going to happen, because there's so much time between now and the start of the season where this could really change for him.
I think he'll be at least RB15 in the next 3 weeks. That's why I'd have a list. I didn't even write his ADP down. So I'm like, well, it's as of right now, this is what it is, but it's only going to go up. Only going to go up. He might end up in the top 12. People are crazy. It's the hype train gets rolling, and there's really no way to stop it sometimes.
His current ADP is RB46. Obviously, that's not.
Oh yeah, that's.
But I mean, he's being drafted as a backup up until this point.
Yeah, he's being drafted around guys like J.D. McKissick, Jamal Williams, Alexander Mattison, Latavius Murray. That's not going to happen in the next few weeks. So
it's not happening right now, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So let's play the game, right? Would you rather? Brickner, brand new game we invented on this show specifically called Would You Rather. No one ever played it before. We were the first ones to come up with it on this show. No one had ever done it before. So I'll pick. I'm gonna pick pick
a few, because I do want to touch on Stafford real quick.
Okay.
And I'd like to talk about Tyler Higbee. I should have put him on there. I was doing some research. I think Tyler Higbee's a value right now, but we can get into it
all right
after Would You Rather.
So I'm gonna put Darrell Henderson at RB30. That's what I'm putting him right now. RB30. He's just outside of RB2, and that's roughly, looking at Fantasy Pros, that's about, in a 12-team league, like the back of the 7th.
Okay.
I feel like that's somewhat fair once the hype cools down.
If it ever does, it depends how they bring. That's what I'm saying.
You know what? How about this? How about this? James Robinson's RB24. I'll flip flop him. I'll put Darrell Henderson at RB24. So here's what we're gonna do: 2 guys above, 2 guys below. Who would you rather have? I don't want an explanation. I just want to know, who would you rather have? Darrell Henderson at RB24, which again, in a 12-team league, you're looking at like mid-5 is roughly where you're taking him. Back 5. Would you rather have Darrell Henderson or Kareem Hunt as your RB2, Brickner?
The Browns fan. Ooh.
As a huge, but this one is tough because Hunt had a great year last year, but a lot of it was touchdown based. So even as a Browns fan with the upside, I'll probably take Henderson there. I mean, if it's between those two, give me the guy with the most upside. That's how you win your league.
Okay,
And yeah, that's yep.
I would still go Hunt.
I would go Hunt as well.
Interesting.
He's going to catch more passes than Henderson. Henderson won't. He'll catch.
See, and that's the thing. In my projections, I don't think he will. Like
Hunt?
even as the backup and like the starter that Hunt was for like 4 weeks, he wasn't killing it as a pass catcher.
No, he found
Really
the end
wasn't.
zone a lot. Yeah, he found.
Yeah,
the end
like,
zone
he was really carried by touchdowns, but that's how this offense works. It
Yes.
works on the ground,
Right.
and they're going to score touchdowns, whether it's Chubb, whether it's Hunt, or they're going to throw to the tight ends in the end zone or the red zone. Excuse me.
All right, RB23. Would you rather Mike Davis or Darrell Henderson? Brickner.
Mike Davis.
God, that's Russian roulette. Jesus.
I know. Yeah. Would you rather drown or be
Remember-
electrocuted?
Remember when everyone said, "Oh, the hype needs to calm down," and then we've said two names that have been next to him, and everyone's like, "Oh, maybe he should be drafted there." That's why we play this game. You know what? That's what everyone should do before they write their articles, before they make their opinions. Play Would You Rather with yourself for 5 minutes. Go look at the ADP, put him where you think he'll fall, and be like, "Damn, yeah, I'd probably take him over X." And you're like, "Well, shit, then I guess he falls there." But Josh, go ahead. Mike Davis or Henderson?
Davis. It's close. Davis, I think. Yes.
Okay. Josh?
Toss up. Give me Henderson. He's younger.
Henderson is the better offensive line. You know,
yeah.
Fair enough.
That's true.
Henderson is the better offensive line. Okay, RB24 is Darrell Henderson. RB25, Javonte Williams or Darrell Henderson? Brickner.
Henderson. I'm always going to take the guy has some NFL experience over a rookie who's never played an NFL snap at this point.
Okay, Josh.
Give me all the Javonte Williams. All of it.
I knew Josh was going to say Javonte Williams. I don't really need to ask him, but
All of it.
it's Brickner. Your answer was very disheartening.
He
'cause
also has a nose for the end zone that I'm not 100% sure that Darrell Henderson has. So,
See, am I crazy? I mean, I think Javonte Williams is a guy that might win. That's it's gonna take him several weeks to get going. Fangio, and this is just a hunch I have, seems like the old school kind of coach that's gonna make a rookie earn his stripes and not just give him the ball. Maybe I'm crazy, but
I agree 1,000%. I think we could very well see with Javonte Williams what we saw last year with J.K. Dobbins.
yes.
I hope it's sooner rather than later because Javonte Williams is currently my RB2 in the Four-Eyed Championship League, so I would like Javonte Williams to start sooner than later. I will go with Javonte Williams as well. I fucking drafted him. That one's pretty simple for me. I gave away my cards there, but yeah, I think just by the end of the season, Javonte Williams is gonna be the leader in the backfield, and that's he'll be good at that point. Okay, and last guy, Darrell Henderson or Chase Edmonds at RB26. Brickner.
Henderson.
Okay, Josh.
Honestly, I'd rather have James Conner than Henderson, so give me Edmonds.
You want to what? Hold on.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Basically, I'm going to have both of these Arizona running backs over Darrell Henderson. Like, that's how I would physically take them. Like, my projections don't work out that way, but, like, I would much rather take the Conner touchdown upside over whatever the hell Darrell Henderson does.
Darrell Henderson could have one carry for 75 yards and a touchdown and score more points on that one run than James Conner will score all season.
I don't think he will.
James Conner is a less healthy, less agile, worse player than David Johnson, and David Johnson looked like a pile of doo-doo when he played under Cliff Kingsbury there. So
I agree.
I don't know.
Still would rather have both of the Arizona running backs over Darrell Henderson.
See, I like Chase Edmonds. I'm not totally sold that he's going to be the workhorse, but yeah, Connor, I want nothing to do with this year. I don't.
Yeah.
Connor's current ADP, I would much rather have him over both of them. But
listen, the real Arizona Cardinal running back you want is Benjamin at RB90. That's the
The
real
one who didn't take a single snap last year as a rookie. Yeah, let's sign that for that one.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They brought in Kenyon Drake midway through the season. Kenyon Drake takes over. He then gets the starting role the year after. He gets the starting role for 1 year. Chase Edmonds comes in, and Chase Edmonds smokes Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake leaves the next year. Chase Edmonds is now the starter. Who's his backup? Benjamin.
Are we 100% sure that Chase Edmonds is a starter, though? That's
Benjamin.
the point I'm getting at.
Benjamin. I'm just saying. Keep
All
your
I
eye
know
out.
is we're definitely coming back to this clip when
Benjamin fucking balls out in week 5.
When he gets cut in the second week of training camp on the
When
in the first
Benjamin-
This will be the type of victory lap that Twitter just absolutely cringes for. I just know it already.
When Benjamin rips. Let's look at the Cardinals schedule. When is Benjamin going to break out this year? Cardinals schedule football.
We're getting so off topic right now.
No, we're not getting off topic here. I am projecting a breakout game for Benjamin. Oh my God, he plays the Jaguars in week 3. Week 3, Benjamin will smoke the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. Book it. Benjamin will smoke the Jackson. Benjamin will be an RB2 in week 3 of the NFL season. Because he's
just for that,
I'm
I'm throwing him in a random DFS lineup just for shits and giggles.
He plays the Houston Texans at home. Guys, he plays dog shit defenses all season outside of his division.
Also, he's got the AFC South, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep, that'll do it.
He plays the Cowboys.
So what you're saying is all Connor has to do is stay healthy and we're golden.
Here's his playoff schedule. He
That's
plays
what I'm hearing.
he plays the Lions, the Colts, and the Cowboys championship week. Benjamin is a league winner. Book it right. Round 20. No one's going to draft him in 4 eyes. Round 23, I'm taking Benjamin. I don't care who's on the board. Benjamin is going to be my running back. All right. Back to whatever the hell we actually were supposed to talk about.
The Rams, I think, was that?
The Rams. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
same division. We're fine.
It's okay. There's some synergy there. Yeah.
Brickner, you said you want to talk about Higbee. Go ahead. Talk about him. What'd you want to talk about?
I'll tell you what. I think Higbee's going off right now, tight end 16.
I will let you.
I believe
know.
that's Fantasy Pros. To me, that's a steal because I looked up in 2019 when Gerald Everett was out for the last 5 games. Higbee was the tight end 1, like literally the high scoring tight end over those last 5 weeks. He balled out. Everett's gone. I don't think Jacob Harris is going to be a threat to him. So give me Tyler Higbee.
Bryson Hopkins. Come on now.
Well, I'm going to sleep on him. Give me Tyler Higbee at his price and to finish in the top 10 at least. And that's a conservative projection because he outscored Kittle and Kelsey in those 5 weeks. So I'm giving a top 5 finish for Tyler Higbee this year, and that's a steal at tight end 16.
I'm more believing that mindset now that Akers is hurt and not playing versus 2 days ago.
Tyler Higbee's skill set is what you're.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where they were literally split right down the middle last year in targets. Like Everett had 62, Higbee had 60. Like what really elevated Higbee's season last year was the touchdowns, and he had 3 of them in one game, and he had 5 on the season. So now you take away Akers, who presumably would be that red zone guy, because that's what McVay does when he's in the red zone. He runs the football. Now, presumably, you don't have a running back capable of doing that. You're going to look for different options. Higbee has shown the ability to be a receiving threat in the red zone. So I think for me, now that Akers is out, Higbee has that potential to be a top tier tight end, I would say, really, because of the touchdown upside. Because outside of those top 3 guys, Kelsey, Waller, Kittle, really what you're looking for is touchdowns. That's what's going to propel you into that tight end 1 conversation. Akers out, Higbee now has that upside. But here's the other side of it too. He's currently a tight end 16, just like we talked about with Henderson's ADP rising. Guess whose ADP is now going to rise also? It's going to be Higbee. So I don't.
I still think the average fantasy player is going to
The average fantasy player may not. Absolutely.
I think in a lot of your home leagues and, I just don't. Yeah, sure. In the expert league like Four Eyes or SFB, an SFB 11 type league, absolutely, or another charity league. I feel like you can probably get Higbee at tight end 12 in most redraft leagues.
He does have to compete with the touchdown stealing tight ends known as Evan Ingram and Hunter Henry. So, real big touchdown guys there. I think if you combine both of their touchdowns throughout their entire careers, I think Tyler Higbee has the same amount in one season as both Irv Smith. Or no, I'm sorry, not Irv Smith. Evan Ingram and Hunter Henry do. I think Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I mean, 3 days ago we wouldn't be having this conversation about Higbee. I would all be on the. I'm not even wasting a late round dart throw on him, but absolutely I would right now. Absolutely. Yeah.
Still,
I bumped him up to I think 91 targets in my projections because I truly believe that Stafford's going to have to throw the football a ton now because they're not going to have a viable running game.
Still blows my mind. Jonnu Smith is going in the 15th round.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all.
Still blows my mind. I
mean, no 12. He's never finished in the top 12, has he? When I was doing of any of his fantasy seasons, I know a lot of that's health.
Well, to be fair, his first few years were behind Delaney Walker.
Right.
Yeah. And he was trending that way until a late season injury last year. I mean, he had 8 touchdowns, and they moved him around the formation a lot.
That's true.
Tennessee, and I don't think you give him what did the Patriots give him, Joe? $52 million over 4 years.
Yeah.
You're not going to give him that much money if you don't plan to make him at some way a focal point of that offense. They're going to move him around a lot. So
I got in on the ground floor. I was the first one in on this Jonnu Smith to the Patriots.
Literally the day after he signed in New England, traded for him in our home dynasty league.
I swapped third round picks and got Jonnu Smith. No brainer in my opinion. So if Jonnu Smith goes off, I want full credit for being in on the ground floor for this guy. I want full credit because you and Ryan did not believe when I made that trade. None of you did.
I did. I was a little gun shy at first, but the more research I did, the more I got in on it.
I'm more confident in my Eno Benjamin bet than I am in my Jonnu Smith bet. That's what I'm going for right now. I am riding the Arizona State University wave, baby. Everyone but N'Keal Harry can hop on. Okay, next team, the lovely Cleveland Browns.
Finally. We go, Brownies. Here we go.
Finally.
I had to do it. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. You know what?
You guys made the playoffs last year. Kudos, man.
Hey, and we won a playoff game, too. That's our first win in Pittsburgh since I was a freshman in college. Let's see.
Was that the 90s?
No, 2003. No, I'm not that old. Jeez. Fall of 03. Damn.
I'm not saying you look old. I'm saying.
Also, you're a year younger than me then. Okay.
Yeah. That was.
I'm just saying the Browns have sucked forever. That's all I was saying.
Being a Browns fan is like I compared it to. I was throwing away some dog poo in the dumpster today, and the smell because it was hot, just wet. Being a fan has been like until last year. So
that's what I imagine. Like walking into Brown Stadium is like First Energy Stadium. You walk in, it just smells like a dumpster with dog shit in it.
No, it does not. It is a nice stadium. Do not insult the stadium. It's a factory.
The stadium's nice. Well, it was the players in the uniforms that was the dog poop that I was referring to.
It was a problem. Yes.
Yeah, it was an issue.
Yes, it was a problem.
Hey.
New
leaf,
only
baby.
good times ahead. That's right.
Only good vibes over there.
Super Bowl or bust. That's right.
Yeah. So, well, that's a big bust right there, then, my friend, because you're not winning the Super Bowl this year. Sorry. Upside, Ryan, Odell Beckham Jr.
Yep.
Awful. Josh Landry.
Ooh.
That one's pretty easy. I was gonna put Jarvis Landry as my sleeper, but Josh put him as the upside for the article. Downside, Ryan is Kareem Hunt. Josh, you have Odell Beckham. Damn, what a guy. Josh, killing it on this one right now. Trust fall Nick Chubb. Who else you going to trust on this team? Rookie to watch. Well, I think Ryan chose the right guy because his name is sick. Demetric Felton.
He's
a Brickner. No one's going to start here. The other Josh picked Anthony Schwartz. That's a man.
I mean, they're really the only two offensive rookies.
The good news about the offense is there's continuity there. So we're not. It's not like usual. We're just throwing in some rookie and hoping he can do something.
But Josh, you missed Demetric Felton. Come on now.
I mean, he's fourth on the depth chart behind Chubb and Hunt and
Dearness Johnson. Yeah.
So he's
plus he was a former wide receiver in college, trying to transition to running
is
back.
Antonio Gibson.
So that's kind of
Antonio Gibson was a former receiver.
Okay. He's not Antonio Gibson.
Antonio Gibson and Demetric Felton are the exact same person. Okay, my sleeper, Baker Mayfield, he's QB 16 right now and can be a quarterback 1. There's my reasoning. I feel like that's very simple. Like, I don't really. I mean, again,
he's got to be efficient. That's the big thing because he's not going to jump in the rushing yards.
Right, and he's not gonna get the volume. I don't think either because our defense. Now Baker was, I believe, QB6, QB8. I think the last 5-6 weeks of the year, once he got rolling in the offense. But I just don't think that he had 11-1 touchdown to INT ratio. But I just don't think with the improved defense, he's gonna have the volume that you need. I think in Superflex, he's a perfect QB2. That's what I've been saying all offseason. He's going to have QB1 weeks, but he's got a safer floor if he's efficient.
Speaking of,
he basically has to be Kirk Cousins to be a QB1.
Right. Yes.
I think he can do that.
I don't think he's as accurate as Kirk Cousins.
He's
that's just my opinion. He looked more accurate in college than he has in the pros.
Is that a glowing endorsement on Kirk Cousins or an indictment on Baker Mayfield? Because I mean, I'm not going to say Kirk Cousins is inaccurate.
I think Mayfield.
When you look at their completion percentages, Kirk Cousins has been accurate.
Yeah, Drew Brees' completion percentage has been 77%.
But Kirk Cousins' ADOT is higher than Drew Brees', so that's a different conversation.
That's fair. My IDP is John Johnson. Talked about the improved defense. That's one of them. Great safety. Will be a really good defensive back.
Loved his signing. Love it. Yes.
Yeah, great defensive back. Will be a good.
Yeah, they needed that. They're outside of Denzel Ward, man. It
was bad. It was. Yeah, when it was 28-0, and I still didn't feel confident in the playoff game. That's how bad our secondary was. Yes.
Well, Grant Delpit will hopefully be back this year.
Hopefully,
he's healthy.
Harrison's pretty good. Ronnie Harrison, I like him. Ward, he was one of the better players last year, which isn't a ring endorsement, but
again, it's more.
I'd like to see Greedy Williams fully healthy. That's what
I don't know if that's. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever get there. Yeah, I don't think.
That was a weird injury for him last year.
Right.
I hope he comes back. I really do because dealing with nerves, that's not good. Never good.
All right, the two guys that Brickner wants to talk about, OBJ and Nick Chubb. Let's talk about Odell Beckham because I am not raking the guy's skills whatsoever. Skill wise, he's a top 5 receiver in the NFL. He doesn't work in this system. I don't want any part of Odell Beckham on the Cleveland Browns whatsoever. Brickner, is he good or bad to you? Why did you pick Odell Beckham as one of your guys to talk about?
I think when I was going through this today, I was looking at guys who I think can outperform their ADP. And as much as Odell Beckham was having issues, I mean, he was wide receiver 19 heading into week 7 before he got injured. Just looking at my notes here as well. Right now he's going wide receiver 27, I believe, in PPR leagues. I mean, I'll take a chance. I think that what you're not going to see after the success the Browns had last year after he got hurt is you're not going to see him get force-fed the ball, but I really think he's going to be in plus matchups and he's going to get better targets. I just think that you can tell some in the games we lost, the games we struggled, especially in that Kansas City playoff game, we needed an Odell Beckham Jr. to stretch the field. So I'll take a chance on a wide receiver 27, knowing that he can usurp that. Yeah, he's not the top 10 guy anymore, but he could finish wide receiver 15, wide receiver 20, and I'm going to take that risk. I really am. Now in a lot of my home leagues, I'm with Browns homers, so I'm never going to get that chance to draft him that low, but. I'm going to take the risk. I will. I think he can outperform that wide receiver 27.
So before I head into my point here, you mentioned needing that field stretcher. How much do you think that played into Cleveland drafting Anthony Schwartz, who is a burner that isn't a superstar that needs his ego fed? Because to me, it feels like watching this team, like especially towards the tail end of the season, right? After OBJ got hurt and how this offense operated, not needing to force feed someone like OBJ because you know that you have to make him happy because that's just the personality that he's displayed. And just saying, all right, I need people that are going to play their role. And that's that.
See, that feels like an overblown narrative to me as a Browns fan. I think it was more on Baker, who mentally himself felt that he had to force feed the ball. And I think Stefanski and I think they worked like that. What I think OBJ had 38 points in that Dallas game. They found ways to get him the ball, and whether it was a reverse pass from Landry to OBJ, the reverse that put the game away. OBJ got 2 red zone touchdowns, got a red zone. I just think that they're going to find better ways. He's going to get smarter targets, and not they're just going to keep throwing him the ball. That's my opinion.
If that's the case, I will buy into him at his current ADP.
I think that's what you're going to see.
That's the thing. Like it's one of those things where you're basically looking at how last year shaped up, and then how last year finished. So then it becomes, all right, where's the median, right? Where's the does he finish as the wide receiver 27 because he's not going to be this guy that they're going to force feed like a typical wide receiver 1 that's going to see a 22 to 27% target share, or is he just going to be another guy in the offense, which means that his ADP is just fine? Because for me, if they're trying to force feed him the football, this whole offense is going to fall apart, and that
I don't
downside.
They won't do that. They will not. But I know what you're saying, but I feel like he's going to get better targets. I think he's going to get the ball in positions to succeed. They're going to.
But see, that to me makes him more volatile because then he's only going to have like 4 receptions a game. So you're banking on 17 to 20 yards per reception and a touchdown every week. You know what I mean?
I think
that makes him better in best ball for me than in redraft.
I think he's going to get more targets than that. Yeah, you're right. He's not. I'm trying to think of the best way. Like we didn't talk about Robert Woods. I take Robert Woods all day over OBJ, of course, because he's more consistent. Absolutely, that's why he's going to draft 2 rounds ahead of him. I'm taking the risk. I am. I'll take the risk on OBJ.
It's just for me. It's one of these things where, like, when I look at a guy like an OBJ who's a wide receiver 1 on a low volume passing offense versus someone like, and I know their ADPs are very different, but I'm using this as a comparative narrative here. Like A.J. Brown, who's in a low-volume passing offense. What you're banking on is efficiency. With OBJ, we've never really seen the efficiency with targets. With A.J. Brown, we've seen it because he has that ability. I'm going to break tackles, and I'm going to score touchdowns. OBJ doesn't break the kind of tackles that A.J. Brown does. Both of them do have very similar yards per targets over their career. They're going to go for over 15 yards because that's just their game.
That's what they do, right?
Exactly. And Tannehill's been a lot more efficient the last couple of years than Baker has been. Now, I understand that last year was that first year for Baker and Stefanski's offense. There's a lot that can improve for him going forward in year 2. So to me, like that's and again why I have Nick Chubb as the trust fall. I mean, this is a guy that missed 4 games last year and still finished as an RB1. That's just how good he is. You give this guy 16, 17 full games, he's going to be top 5. I don't care how many passes he doesn't catch.
Absolutely.
And
and to follow up on Chubb, it kind of put the pin in. OBJ, it's not a player that I have to have on my team, but it's a guy that I will take if the value is right. So that's kind of the. I do think he can be successful, but you're right. It's not a slam dunk. It's not a slam dunk by any means. Chubb is an absolute slam dunk, and I also think you're going to see him more involved in the passing game. I believe he had.
I would love to see that.
Yes,
he was better in the passing game to end the season.
Yes, and that's where I think the Browns are kind of tipping their hand a little bit when obviously he wasn't a factor for the longest time. So defenses were kind of forgetting about him. And I think in a big 3rd down conversion against Jacksonville, the screen pass for a touchdown against Pittsburgh when the game got down to 12 points, I just think you're going to see him used very much more in the passing game, kind of keep defenses guessing because obviously when Hunt came in we're more likely to pass. When Chubb was in there, it's either going to be a run or play action. So I feel like he's going to be used much more in the screen game and get the ball in his hands. And I think he's a better receiver than people realize. So yeah, Chubb is, I mean, he's top 5 to me. I think he finishes top 5 if he's healthy, easy. Not easy, but he will. Top 5.
Okay.
You know the easy way to clear up the Odell Beckham debate?
Would you rather?
Would you rather?
Let's do it. Would you rather time? Let's do it.
Because Odell Beckham is the wide receiver 27. And I'm sorry, there's about 10 names below him that I would rather have at this point. So, wide receiver 3, this is assuming your flex position. You're starting this guy in your flex every week. Let's just go on the assumption. Every week, obviously, except his bye week. You're starting this guy as your first guy off the bench, if not your flex.
Okay.
Would you rather have Odell Beckham or Brandon Ayuk? Brickner.
Oh, it's okay. This is a good. It's Brandon Ayuk because Ayuk.
Josh?
Yeah, I think I would take Ayuk too.
Okay, Brandon
They are
Ayuk.
close though. They really are.
Yeah, that one's
both
close.
Of them are in
right.
low volume passing offenses, and I mean, really, Kittle's the wide receiver 1 on that team if healthy. So
Yep. Jamar Chase or Odell Beckham? Brickner.
I guess give me Chase for the upside, but I don't love it. But give me Chase, I guess, because he's more likely to finish higher because of him and Burrow.
passing volume.
Yeah, the volume.
Josh?
Yeah, give me Chase. Passing volume. Joe Burrow is going to throw 640 times. So
if he doesn't get killed behind that crappy offensive line, yes.
made
Jamar
improvements. Give him time.
Jamar Chase with increased passing volume and unbelievable skill. Jamar Chase. Okay, Odell Beckham's 27. Odell Beckham or Chase Claypool? Josh Brickner.
I took Claypool as my wide receiver 4, 5, and SB 11, and I don't remember if he's on the. I don't know if Beckham was there or not, but I got it. Now that I think about it, boy, give me Beckham. I think because there's a lot of mouths to feed in that Pittsburgh offense, and they didn't take Najee Harris at 22, 25, whatever he went, just to have him pass block. So give me Beckham by a thin margin.
Josh?
Yeah, I agree. Give me Beckham by a thin margin.
I would pass on both of them, but if I had to, I would take.
Oh, yeah.
Beckham.
I mean, I'm Team
Yeah.
Deontay to the core, but still.
I think Claypool's got a little bit bigger upside. If you're going for, that's why I probably picked him in SFB 11, but Beckham for my normal redraft league.
If they really sour on Ebron and they use Claypool in a lot of those like move tight end sets, then yeah, you're going to see the same type of tight end or touchdown spike that you saw last year.
I hate both of them, but Odell Beckham.
Well, for me, hate's a strong word, but
Right.
I hate both of them. So Odell Beckham, by default. Odell Beckham or T. Higgins? Brickner. To me, this shouldn't even be a thought.
Yeah, this is a
T.
no-brainer.
T. Higgins. Even though I like Tyler Boyd a lot more than Tyler Boyd's the guy I'm targeting in that because you can get him in the 12th round. But
That's fair.
Josh, T. Higgins.
Oh, T. Higgins, absolutely. I would take T. Higgins over Jamar Chase, honestly. So
T. Higgins all the way. It's not even close. Just some other names that I would throw out there that I would probably be over Odell Beckham with. Cortland Sutton.
Yep.
DJ Chark.
Yeah. That's close for me. I will say that's close for me.
Yeah, I have DJ Chark on too many dynasty teams, so yeah, he's definitely clogging up a roster spot. I paid way too much for him.
Devonta Smith.
I think I would take OBJ over Devonta.
OBJ, I don't. This isn't a Jamar Chase situation. Yeah, give me OBJ over Smith.
I will say, if you're asking about upside, I think Devonta Smith has more upside potential, but I would rather have OBJ.
That's totally fair. Juju Smith-Schuster.
I just don't see the Eagles passing as much as people think.
Sure,
that's all.
You have Juju Smith-Schuster. You have Jerry Jeudy, if you're a fan of Jerry Jeudy. Tyler Boyd, as Brickner said. I'm just saying, Odell Beckham's probably not the guy you want.
Again, that's
he's
why
at.
I went with the downside. Like he could very easily finish as wide receiver 27, very easily. I just not 1,000% sure he could do it.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, just my thought process.
I should say, and it's just again, not lack of skill. Dude's very skilled.
Oh, absolutely not like skill.
Doesn't?
Yeah, he's not in the best situation.
No.
Obviously, the Browns are a run first team with the.
If he was still on the Giants,
he'd be.
Maybe it's a different conversation, but
right.
Even with a worse quarterback, it would be a much different conversation. Daniel fucking Jones, what a joke! 6th pick out of Duke. Oh, we in the NBA draft? Is this the PLL, Premier Lacrosse League? I'm sorry. Why are we drafting football players from Duke? They're better at every other sport. Soccer, literally every sport. Football is the worst sport at that college. What are we doing?
Not wrong there.
What are we doing, Dave Gettleman? Okay, Ravens, coached by, as Josh eloquently put it in the show sheets, John Harbaugh. Not Harbaugh,
Oh, did
Harbaugh.
I not spell it right? Whatever.
No, you spelled it incorrectly. Yep, so coached
He's
by
actually
John...
the more successful Harbaugh brother,
Yeah.
obviously. Yes.
He's actually the most successful Harbaugh there's ever been. So, John Harbaugh, brand new coach.
It's not going to print. I don't care about misspelling shit.
For your Baltimore Ravens. Upside, Ryan has Gus Edwards, Josh, you have J.K. Dobbins. On the opposite side, Ryan has J.K. Dobbins as a downside. Josh, you have Marquise Brown as a downside. I love that. Marquise Brown's going like wide receiver 41, and he should still be a downside. That's great, Josh.
I know we kind of joked last season that Marquise hadn't earned the Hollywood nickname and that we could call him Bollywood, but it just felt disrespectful to like Bollywood to do that. So
yeah, I agree.
The notes.
The real Hollywood plays for the Cleveland Browns, Rashard Hollywood Higgins. So,
oh Jesus.
Yes. I'm just kidding, but yeah, Marquise Brown. No, yeah, he's bad.
I mean, his ADP is what, like wide receiver 41 now, so like he's not expensive by any means.
Hold on, listen.
44.
Listen.
Yeah, but
listen, he's more Hollywood, Florida than he is Hollywood, California.
Fair enough.
I think that's
fair enough. That I can get on board with.
No disrespect to anyone in Hollywood, Florida, but.
It's not Hollywood, California.
It's not Hollywood, California. Trust fall. Let me get also Hollywood, California is a fucking dump as well. Let's just be honest there. Outside of the stardom, it's a dump. Trust fall. Lamar Jackson. Both of you guys said it. Ryan and Josh, rookie to watch. You both said Rashad Bateman as well. My sleeper. I don't know. Give me a random receiver that they drafted this year. Tylan Wallace. He seems good.
I like Tylan Wallace actually.
Was so tempted to put James Prochet because he's higher on the depth chart, but at this point,
now.
Yeah,
he's a kick returner at this point, dude. That's all he is.
James Prochet will be a starter at some point.
You really are dying on this hill, aren't you?
Name me a bad SMU wide receiver.
Trey Quinn.
Trey Quinn was amazing for 6 games.
But...
Trey Quinn was amazing for 6 games. Get out of here.
Wasn't it Trey Quinn who did the Michael Scarn as a touchdown dance?
Yes.
I thought so. That makes him a legend already for doing the Scarn.
Trey Quinn, baby. If SMU receivers can't produce for long enough, they make sure their mark is felt. Michael Scarn dance. Oh, love Trey Quinn. My IDP is Patrick Queen. I looked at this defense, like I went through the depth chart. This is not a very skilled defense, in my opinion. It's very old on the defensive line. Calais Campbell, Brandon Williams, Derek Wolfe. Like that, I think that's a 32-plus squad. Like that's the retirement home community playing on the defensive line for the Ravens right now. Patrick Queen, and don't get me wrong, Patrick Queen is awesome. He had 250 points last year. He's a stud. Fast, can do everything. Their secondary's not good. Like, their DBs aren't great. Marlon Humphreys, obviously, is good, but he's not good for fantasy. Their safeties are garbage, and their opposite corner, Marcus Peters, does nothing but complain and flop. So there's literally, you whittle it down, there's one option for the Ravens for IDP, and it's Patrick Queen. It's a fantastic option, but there's one option. I'm not drafting anyone else. Like Calais Campbell, past his prime. You know, if you need to stream a guy a week because he's playing against the Bengals defensive line or offensive line, stream Calais Campbell. Go nuts.
Or
But
the Steelers' offensive line is
or the
pretty
Steelers'
terrible
offensive
as well.
line.
Yeah.
Two very piss poor offensive lines in that division. But if there's a great matchup and you need a guy, Calais Campbell, Brandon Williams probably a good fill-in. But Campbell's not raking in 14 sacks like he used to, and that was where he made his money for you in fantasy football. Brandon Williams has really never been the huge sack guy. He's just been a 350-pound literal butt plug in the middle of the defensive line. He's huge, dude. He's massive. Patrick Queen is going to plug the middle as well, and Patrick Queen's the only guy that I think can tackle efficiently on this defense. Patrick
Joe
Queen.
on 3 hours of sleep is just internet.
I literally, oh yeah. So I had to work the All-Star game in Mankato. Well, we all went as an office. Went to the All-Star game in Mankato, Minnesota, which is a 7-hour drive from Bismarck, North Dakota. Got to see Adam Thielen throw out the first pitch. Shook hands with him yesterday. Very nice guy.
Nice.
Yeah, I went to bed at 4 a.m. this morning and left Mankato at 8. So
Okay, so
currently,
4 hours.
Currently, well, no, I woke up at 7 to shower and get ready to leave. So I got 3 hours.
You didn't just wake up and jump in the car.
No, I did not wake up, jump in the car. Yeah, 3 hours of sleep. Almost dozed off a few hundred times on the ride here. But good news is, if you fall off the road in Minnesota or North Dakota, you just hit corn. So it's not really an issue. You think I'm lying? You think I'm lying? No, you hit corn. That's it. It doesn't matter.
I'm just laughing at the idea of it. All right, let's get into
All
the
right. Where I'm from in Ohio, we have the same issue. It's corn and
yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Not gonna hurt anyone. Just gonna hit corn. It might ruin a couple cows' food, but that's okay. All right. J.K. Dobbins, Marquise Brown, Brickner, those are your players to watch, good or bad. We already know Marquise Brown's a pile of hot garbage, so let's talk about J.K. Dobbins.
This might be the Buckeye homer in me, but boy, do I think at RB16, give me all the J.K. Dobbins. I just feel like, Gus Edwards, yes, he's Harbaugh's boy. He's always going to have a role, but I think they're going to use J.K. Dobbins more in the game this year. And if he does that, he has a good chance to finish as an RB1 and possibly in the top 10. I really think with how they run the read option, how many times they run the ball, give me J.K. Dobbins all day with a skill set. Because I'll tell you what, I watched him play in Columbus for 3 years, and I thought it then, he is a 3-down back. Yes, he's very good. He's a 3-down back. And at RB16, I feel like that's a great value right now.
Yeah, for me, his RB1 upside lies in really how much they're going to use him in the passing game. We saw with Mark Ingram 2 years ago, it was all about like the passing or the receiving touchdowns that he had. Like that's really what helped propel him. Because we all know that Lamar Jackson is basically a running back that also throws the football. Like that
is correct.
That's why I trust him. Like it's like his ADP right now, I think is QB4, which we've seen like with Kyler Murray, like he was our downside, and it's really just because you don't spend early picks on quarterbacks. But like at QB4, where Lamar's going in like the 4th, 5th round, like I feel like that to me is more justifiable. Because of the upside that he could still be the QB1 because of how efficient he is throwing touchdowns and how much he runs the football. But like going as that top 2 or 3 guy within like the first 3 rounds just feels to me, if that makes any sense to anybody. But yeah, like JK had 6 yards per carry last year?
Yes. He was the best back on that team.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Like with running backs that have rushing quarterbacks, their yards per carry automatically spikes because defenses have to pay attention to the quarterback that's running the football. They don't know
head start. Yes.
Exactly. And J.K. Dobbins is so good at these zone read games. Like these plays, just he gets it and just goes. And he really is a good pass catcher. It's just for me, it's one of those, how much are they going to throw to the running back? Because they haven't done that the last couple of years. and Greg Roman's system just doesn't really do that. But then we saw last year with Brian Dable in Buffalo, he never really did that either, and still didn't. But he opened up the offense when they brought in receivers.
Right.
What did Baltimore do? They went out and they got receivers. Yes, they're rookies. They're not the veterans that Buffalo went and got with Stephon Diggs. But, dude, Rashad Bateman, Tylan Wallace, they catch everything.
Here,
I mean,
it's – go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Here's the difference between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson is one can throw the football. And
Correct.
one is blind. So there's really
Look, we were talking 2 years ago that
compare.
Josh Allen couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a football, and then he completes 67% of his passes last year.
Yeah, sure. So how has Lamar Jackson progressed in the same time frame as Josh Allen throwing the football?
Well,
Terribly.
now he has receivers that can catch everything.
Terribly.
Well, I mean, you're putting a lot
I'm
of
just
faith.
saying,
You're putting a
like,
lot of faith
this
in
is
two
what we're-
rookies,
I mean-
and you're putting a lot of faith in two rookies and hop along Sammy Watkins.
Again, I understand that. I'm
hasn't finished a season, you know, and
I am not
And
trying to
Hollywood
put
Brown.
faith.
right, and Hollywood Brown, yeah.
I'm not trying to put faith in rookies. What I'm saying is they looked to upgrade the offense. Will Lamar take that next step as a passer? I do not
No.
know.
As a
I
Browns
don't
fan,
know.
I hope not. I mean, I like Rashad Bateman a lot, but that's the worst landing spot for him. I think.
Guys,
Not the
I-
worst.
But you know, we all thought that Tennessee was the worst landing spot for AJ Brown, and look what happened.
Yeah, but Ryan Tannehill
Talent typically wins out.
But Ryan Tannehill actually
Was hot
can throw.
garbage until he got there. We all
Well,
know.
he
it.
had the Adam Gase effect. So I mean,
But
you
he
could-
was
you
in
could-
Miami before Adam Gase got there.
Yes, but Josh, he could actually throw the football a little bit. Lamar
Right.
Jackson can't throw the football. Like
He has an over 6% touchdown percent the last 2 years. He is very efficient as a passer when it comes to throwing touchdowns. That's what you want from quarterbacks. You want touchdowns.
I don't care. We're talking about the receivers. I don't care. That means nothing.
Who the fuck catches the touchdowns?
That
Mark
Josh,
Andrews. Yeah, I just
Mark Andrews.
yeah, Mark
It
Andrews.
means nothing to me. How many times was Mark Andrews irrelevant because Lamar Jackson couldn't hit him? He was irrelevant for half the season last year because Lamar Jackson couldn't hit one of the best skilled hands in the NFL at the tight end position, Mark Andrews. Couldn't hit him. Couldn't find him. The dude is 6'6". How do you miss that? How do you miss that? Rashad Bateman is shorter than Mark Andrews, and Rashad Bateman runs down the field. How is Lamar Jackson going to hit him down the field when Lamar Jackson can't hit someone 10 yards in front of him?
Well, and a big difference this year versus last year, we have a training camp.
What does that matter?
have
He had two
off-season.
before.
I understand that. First off, first year he was a rookie, didn't play more than half the season. The second year, the dude won the fucking MVP award. Like, why are we sleeping on this? Like,
Not
I
for
understand he
passing
did what he
the
did as a
football.
runner, but he led the NFL in touchdown passes.
Okay, you keep saying this all you want. It means absolute jack shit to me that they brought in two rookie receivers to improve Lamar Jackson's passing. He had less passing yards last year, and less touchdowns, and more interceptions. He literally got worse in every major statistical category.
The word is-
Lamar Jackson got worse. Completion percentage, yardage, attempts, completions, touchdowns, touchdown percentage, interception. He got worse in interception percentage, had less first
Well, he
downs.
wasn't going to improve on touchdown percentage, let's be honest. He had
Okay,
9% the year before.
Sure.
so-
Take touchdown percentage out of the way. The other 10 categories I just listed, he got worse in. So I'm sorry. That's on him. That is 100% on him because year over year from 2019 to 2020, they had the same fucking roster. It was the same fucking roster. That's on Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson can and will never be able to efficiently throw the football at the NFL level. Baltimore will waste 15 years of Lamar Jackson's career, 15 years of their franchise trying to chase the Super Bowl. They will never win because he can't win big games because he can't throw the football. And that is proven time and time again when he plays big teams like the Browns and the Chiefs. He can't win because he can't throw. If you get up on Baltimore by more than 2 touchdowns, you win. You win. Book it. I would bet my life savings on the money line of a team if they're up more than 2 touchdowns on Baltimore. It could be 2 minutes into the game. Baltimore's not winning. They can't play from behind because Lamar Jackson can't throw. The wide receivers in Baltimore will do nothing this year. No one will finish higher than wide receiver 36. None of them will be playable in fantasy football more than 2 times this year. They all suck because Lamar can't throw them the ball. J.K. Dobbins will be an RB1. That's not even a question. Mark Andrews will be irrelevant for 12 games of the season. You want to know why? His quarterback can't fucking hit him in the chest. He's 6'6". How can you not hit someone in the chest? You're a professional quarterback. You're one of 32 people that start at this position, and you can't do half of your job.
Now, the other half is running for 1,000 yards and making him fantasy relevant.
Yeah, he's fantasy relevant.
He's fantasy
relevant. That's it. But that doesn't mean his receivers are going to be fantasy relevant.
Look, all I'm saying is quarterbacks can improve the longer they're in the league. Like, we're writing this guy off because he's heading into year 4. Like, Josh Allen made a huge leap in year 3. Ryan Tannehill made a leap in year, 7? Like, I mean, it's one of those things where I understand that he has struggled up to this point, but to say that he can never get better, I think is just it's ignorant. And I'm not trying to like insult you by saying that. I'm just
Are we writing off Daniel Jones?
I mean, I never thought Daniel Jones was good coming out of college.
But why write him off? The longer he's in the league, the better he's going to get, right? No, he's trash.
Look, the Giants are making moves to make him better, and that's exactly what Baltimore's doing. They're making moves to make him better. If he can't improve with those moves, then yeah, okay, then sure, let's write him off. I mean, I was higher on Daniel Jones last year than I was with him coming into the league. I mean, shit, he threw 24 touchdown passes his rookie year. None of us saw that coming.
He threw 11 last year.
I understand that. It was just a bad offense last year. But that's also a change in offensive philosophy, too. They brought in a different coordinator.
Brickner, how do you
Play
feel
calls do matter, Joe.
I mean, I see both sides of this because even Lamar Jackson had that great year, a lot of touchdown passes. You're right. They almost have to do a paint by numbers thing for them to be successful. And if they veer off that path in a game, that's it.
They're screwed.
That's why. Now he could improve, but so I agree with Josh as well. He could improve. To write him off seems foolish. Not foolish, but to say he's done. But I do worry about Bateman. I have some dynasty shares of Bateman. I'm worried about him.
Oh, I have a lot of dynasty shares of Bateman.
I got a bit of Devy league in like the second round of a rookie / Devy draft, and thought I traded because he was still on the board, so I traded last May of 2020 D.D. Westbrook to get the pick, and thought I committed thievery to pick Rashad Bateman as a Devy pick in May of 2020 in like the late second round of rookie / Devy draft, and I'm concerned.
If Bateman does nothing, you got the better end of that deal.
Oh, D.D. Westbrook's not even in the league, so I did, but it's not the runaway that I wanted, but I'm worried about Bateman. I am. That's not how they're successful. They're never going to be a team that can just chuck the ball around to win.
No, absolutely not.
So that's why I do worry about the receivers. Yeah, Marquise Brown, I'm not touching with it, and I'm not touching the poor older hurt version of Marquise Brown and Sammy Watkins. Never Sammy Watkins ever. He was
not even in week 1.
maybe at a GPP lineup.
Dude.
I mean, we've seen Marquise Brown go for 102 touchdowns in a week 1. I'm just saying.
Listen, Sammy Watkins is the best week 1 DFS stream ever known to mankind.
That's the only time.
Which kind of makes him a bad DFS play because everybody knows.
Everybody knows. Yeah, he's not sneaking up on anybody. So yeah, if he does some week 2 and he's in your lineup, then you're cashing in.
Yeah. Just real quick. Every statistical category, Lamar Jackson was worse than last year. In year 3, when you're supposed to make that leap as a quarterback and as an NFL player.
That's wide receivers.
Nope. That's every player in the NFL. 3 years.
Well, look, sure. Say what you want. All I know is not every third-year quarterback wins an MVP in the first 3 seasons.
Okay.
So
not every quarterback after they win that MVP year then gets worse. So
actually, quite a few of them do, but sure, that's fine.
64% completion percentage. He actually had a higher sack percentage, almost 1.5.
Well, he
times
lost
higher
his
than
starting
the year
left
prior.
tackle last year. I mean, what do you expect?
Lamar Jackson, you can run.
I mean, you don't have good receivers. I mean, it is what it is. Like, you hold on to the ball too long. It happens to every quarterback.
I'm just gonna ride the Lamar Jackson will never be a good passer in the NFL train to my death, or until he retires, because it's not happening. He's faster than Michael Vick. He will never have the arm Michael Vick had. Never in a million years.
I agree with that. Yeah, and
Not even close.
And he's in his build. I just don't think he's honestly. I have him in Dynasty League, and I'm thinking about selling high because for Lamar Jackson. Because I mean, look at Cam Newton's shoulder right now, and Cam Newton's built like a linebacker,
A fridge.
Yeah, a fridge, and all that running is just his shoulder's done.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson just cannot hold up. I mean, I know he can. He's so athletic, and he's trying to play smarter, but you're just putting yourself up for all these hits. I'm not. His longevity, I don't think, is there. Just not.
Speaking of, I did trade, actually. I traded Lamar in Joe and I's home Dynasty League last year. Yeah, I got him. I got Michael Thomas, actually, in a second-round pick for Lamar Jackson. It's a 1 QB league, though. So
that's huge.
You're not going to get.
I have him in the super flex, so I'm thinking where I have Rodgers and I forget, and my third quarterback is Jalen Hurts, so that's why I'm a little in a super flex. So
See, I'd be looking to sell high on Jalen Hurts personally.
No, I'm trying. Yeah, people are low balling me. People know that I want to sell high because he was just a second round pick, and I wanted Love because I wanted Rodgers, backup. So people know that I basically lucked into him. So yeah.
So I just love
don't
looking.
worry. Just wait for that first big Jalen Hurts game.
I'll be shipping it. Yeah, I'll be selling high immediately.
People are going to be like, all right, I need some Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. He'll be off my team then.
It's going to be tough when Joe Flacco starts week 1 and the Eagles.
God, that'd be something, wouldn't it?
Can you imagine? Hey,
Wow.
hey, who has more Super Bowl rings? Jalen Hurts or Joe Flacco?
Well,
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That's all I'm saying.
yeah, well, no crap. That's
Hey, Brickner.
no shit. Sorry, I didn't know what the language was, but of course we have more. Super Bowl.
Listen.
How many
listen.
bombs have we dropped so far,
Listen.
Josh? Come on,
Listen.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
Brickner. Am I wrong?
Well,
Am I
no,
wrong?
you're not wrong.
Not
but
wrong.
Yeah, Flacco lucked it. Yeah, if who was the defensive back who couldn't cover in that Denver game that basically gave Joe Flacco that Super Bowl?
Oh, I know who you're talking
I
about.
can't think of who. Yeah, I can't think of the
It was the
defensive.
safety who took
the
the
safety
worst
who-
angle ever possible. On a deep ball.
It's almost like he had money on the Ravens to win that game. I'm not sure because it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Jacoby Jones of all people.
Oh, Jacoby Jones.
Jacoby Jones.
I mean, he did what he does best, which is run past people.
Yeah, but for the record, Flacco heavily underthrew him, and the safety took the worst possible angle.
Oh, I know. I remember the game.
Dude took like a 10-yard short angle on the ball. I'm like, where are you going? Like, just tackle him at that point. It's the same thing with the Minnesota Miracle. Like, why are you going for the ball?
No.
Just push him out of bounds. There's literally 0 seconds on the clock.
The Ravens are the luckiest team. I mean, I hate everything about them for obvious reasons. So.
LFG Browns. I also hate the
former
Ravens.
Cleveland Browns, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, I'm going to say this. I hope our Modell is burning in the deepest, darkest circles of hell. I'm sorry. It got dark.
Embrace
But
the hate, Josh.
I myself and every other Clevelander despises our Modell, and we will never, ever forgive him. Never.
Did you see?
Never.
Did you see that the Colts are gonna do their Baltimore Colts uniforms this year, and the Buccaneers are gonna do their creamsicle uniforms, and they're gonna play each other. I think it was November 26th, so they're gonna play each other in their throwback unis. They just released a video for it on Indy's social media.
I love the Buccaneer throwback.
I love the creamsicle uniforms.
those are
I don't know why
awesome.
everyone hates on those.
Those are great.
Those are
Dude,
sweet.
Their creamsicles are the best. Outside of the Chargers powder blue,
powder
those are
blue.
the best uniforms in football.
Right.
Yeah, they're the 102 of NFL jerseys.
The old Pat the Patriot red jerseys are. Come on now.
Yeah,
They can
you're
wear
on.
They can wear alternates next year, which I am hyped about. I wish they could do that every year. Like they need to have like at least 3 games a year where they're all in like different
I
years.
agree,
Like
man. The retro jerseys like that. I mean,
sick.
retro's been a thing for so long.
Right.
Like, I don't know why leagues haven't embraced that. So
Agree.
Makes so much money off jersey sales too.
that's
Like
what I'm saying.
blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. All right, Brickner, thanks for hopping on, man.
Oh yeah, no, hey, thanks for having me, guys. We had a fun chat. I love that Would You Rather game, but it's a
best
good
game.
it's a good exercise to do because like in my mind, OBJ wide receiver 27, that makes too much sense. Then you list those guys, you're like, yeah, I might rather have him, especially 2 rounds later. So
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, every
Right.
time I go through and I do my projections and I'm like, oh, wow, this person landed here. I'm like, good God.
Right.
And then I go through and I look at it again and I'm like, all right, well, I would take this person over because of this reason. I would take this person
Right.
over. I would take this person over.
Right.
And I'm like, these aren't my actual rankings. These are just how my projections fall.
The Would You Rather game, unreal invention by myself on this show. Honestly, it's I think it's hilarious that I just say that.
Joe's
we
weekly
invented that
ego
on the show.
stroke.
I just like truly like it really is a good exercise. People are like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like so and so. He's being drafted too early. And I'll say this, I'm like, he's being drafted with like 3 backup running backs. So let's play this game. And they're like, shit, I think I'd rather have player X over all the other players.
Yep.
Like that happened with Ryan the other week. He was shit talking one of the receivers or something. And I went through and he's like, for the 5 guys that were listed, he said the guy that he was shit talking, that he would take over him. I'm like, might want to change that, Ryan. You might want to change your stance there, big guy. Oh, it's my favorite. Absolutely my favorite game. All right. Josh, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me again, guys. Yeah.
This is awesome. Next week, we have one of the co-hosts of the Ball Blast podcast, Mr. Jake Trowbridge,
Nice.
the Grammy award-winning artist himself.
Yep.
Yeah,
I love his
I think you have to get him to do a live song, a live parody on there.
Well,
That's
we
just-
only have him for 55 minutes. So
Okay,
we'll have to
so-
make it quick.
right.
Damn. Okay. All right. But we're talking Saints, Packers, and Bills.
Nice.
Obviously, Jake being the Packers fan, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we had him on last year for the Packers Look Inside preview. So he'll be repeating with us twice. Same exact.
Oh no,
week,
we had him on
actually.
in season last year. That was my
It's like-
COVID week.
I was.
Yeah, that was my
correct.
COVID week. Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
So yeah, Josh was down for the count that week. So
No, I bet.
Josh was down with COVID that week. Ryan was down with bad internet this week. He has experienced bad internet twice this year. Once because being in a hotel, the other because he used Mozilla Firefox to try and log on to stream. So, Ryan, if you're watching, I'm happy you're part of the Chrome team, my friend.
No,
LFG
Chrome for
Google.
the win all
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
LFG Google Chrome. All right.
Yeah.
We only have 2 more shows before Women of Fantasy Football begins. Damn, I didn't know that.
So excited for this year.
I didn't know that. Guests will be
So
announced
excited.
here. Yeah, guests and raffles, everything's going to be announced here in the next couple weeks. Obviously, all to help raise money for the Women's Sports Foundation. We did $1,500 last year. We're doubling that goal. Hopefully, we're going to hit $3,000. That's the goal this year. So
many good giveaways.
yeah, really good giveaways. Josh spent way too much money.
Yes, I did. Josh, are you going to be at the Fantasy Football Expo this year?
Oh, I will be there. That's a 30-minute drive for me, so you can bet your bottom
Good.
dollar. I already.
So
I even know.
we're going to have an exclusive giveaway
Oh,
for people that are attending
yes.
the Fantasy Football Expo. And you, as a Cleveland Browns fan, will absolutely want to buy some raffle tickets.
I'm
it.
in.
Just
Send me the link. I'm in right now. I'm in.
I think I know who it is. Josh has told me like 30 different jerseys he's purchased in the last 4 months. So
Well, I
really know.
won a Chubb jersey off Twitter. I won a Chubb jersey because I won. I forget somebody's. I forget which podcast it was. Their March Madness tourney a couple years ago. So I have a Chubb jersey hanging up in my closet. That's autographed.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
Love that.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for the expo. Yeah, I live 30 minutes away. I got a hotel in Canton because I plan on enjoying myself Saturday evening.
Staying at Ryan's house. So,
Nice.
Josh, I'm looking forward to meet you.
Can't wait to meet you.
officially
Yeah,
at
that's
the
right. Can't wait
expo.
to meet you for real, Josh. Yeah.
Josh, I won't be there because I have to work. Woo!
Sucks for you.
Damn work.
You hate to see it. But, so 2 more shows before Women Fantasy Football begins on August 11th. Tune into the mock draft marathon as well. Fantasy Whispers do this every single year. This is our 3rd year on?
Yeah.
Correct?
It'll be our third year.
Yeah. We don't have times at the ass crack of dawn or in the middle of the night.
So
it feels
exciting.
great. I
don't want to give away our spots because I know the Whisperers are going through and kind of like slowly announcing everything. But I know you've booked your spot. Ryan's booked his. I have booked mine. Just know that we're all going to be on very different times. Oh, and by the way, one of our contributors, Chris Molina, is also going to have his spot on there as well. Club Fantasy will be very represented this year. And the Whisperers are doing a lot of really, really good stuff, which I'm very excited about because we're kind of sort of partnering with them on this. Nice. And you're going to hear a lot more about it in the coming days because the marathon starts on
24th.
Yes, the 24th. So Saturday. Correct.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't know any of that. Thank God Josh took over because it just said fun times will be had in my social. So really up to date on these things. But yeah, it's obviously the top tier guests are going to be myself, Ryan, and Josh. Liz Loza will be on there, small man from Yahoo.
It's all Adam Rank, but whatever.
Oh,
and by the way, they booked Hugh Jackson.
I saw that.
Browns and yes. They booked Hugh Jackson as one of the guests for the show.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, that was cool. I saw that today. They're gonna,
I was talking with the Whisperers, and they were like, "Yeah, we're curious to see if they actually draft Baker Mayfield."
That's funny.
I was like, "Screw that! I just want to see his reaction when somebody else does."
Well, no, ask him why it took John Dorsey trading Carlos Hyde before he started Nick Chubb when everyone but him knew that Nick Chubb was way better. But that's okay. I hate Hugh Jackson. He'll have excuse. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry.
Hey, Hugh, quick question. How does it feel to be the worst coach in NFL history?
I mean, he is.
Literally.
He's the worst. He's the worst.
No, literally. The
Rod Marinelli went 0-16 with the Lions.
No, Josh. He is literally the worst head coach of all time, except for a dude who was an owner/coach for the Philadelphia Eagles in the 50s.
Oh, I know.
Outside of him, Hugh Jackson is the worst head coach of all time.
And now he's statistically like the worst head coach of all time.
Yeah. You know what? It's still cool because Hugh Jackson
It is cool.
Coached in the NFL.
And he gives all of his because people will hire him, like Browns fans, to congratulate people on the guy that did the 0-16 parade for a cameo, and he donates all his cameo money to charity and for his foundation. So yeah, he's a good guy in that regard. As a football coach for the Cleveland Browns, terrible.
Josh, I say this all the time. Look, I have nothing against Jared Goff as a human. I'm sure he's great. He just sucks at his job. That's what I say every time.
You're not wrong.
I say every time. You're just bad at your job. That's all I have against you. I'm sure you're a great person. Like Cam Newton, can't say anything bad about what he's done in the community for Carolina.
Right.
What he's done for Boston. You're just bad at your job. And I don't like you for that reason. But
he doesn't have a shoulder to throw to.
Yeah, doesn't have a shoulder to throw.
Yeah.
His legs are almost falling off. So that's what I like to say. But all right, so quick recap. Women Fantasy Football begins in 2 weeks. We have Jake Troberge on next week, talk Saints, Packers, and Bills. Mock Draft Marathon starts this Saturday with the top-tier guests of myself, Josh, and Ryan, and low-tier guests such as Adam Rank and Yahoo's Liz Loza.
That's on the Fantasy Whisperers YouTube.
On the Fantasy Whisperers page, yes, correct. Thank you. And you obviously, everyone knows Liz, but she was our first guest on Women Fantasy Football ever last year, which was awesome. And is she? Actually, we haven't released that yet, so I don't even know. I don't know. Sorry. I can talk about that on next week's show. Okay. And for Josh and Josh, because you can follow Josh at Josh Brickner, and you can follow Josh at the One Hudsonian, and you can follow our non-existent Ryan, who's using Mozilla Firefox on hotel Wi-Fi at the Fantasy 5.
He has a Hotmail password. And,
he's even ancient. He's going AOL, brother. Come on now.
Ryan's spam email is Wheezy Weiss, the mustache guy at hotmail.com. That he only logs in from his Mozilla Firefox on his 118 kilobit dial-up internet. While he strokes his mustache. He strokes his mustache while he waits for it to load. You can follow Ryan at
Ryan, we love you, brother.
Yeah, Ryan.
Follow
you're
Ryan
great.
at the Fantasy
Yes.
5.
Love Ryan.
Myself at Joe_Zola. You can follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL is clubfantasyffl.com. Once again, next week podcast, we're back. Mr. Jake Trowbridge, the Grammy Award-winning artist himself, covering the Saints, Packers, and Buffalo Bills. This is our second to last Look Inside preview. Obviously, we will end in 2 weeks with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we are getting down to the best teams in all of football right now. I say that, and the Saints and Packers don't have starting quarterbacks right now, so we'll see. But we're
officially
have starting quarterbacks. You're correct. We're getting to some of the best teams of last year. A lot of really good fantasy options on all these teams. A lot of guys that you might not be thinking of as well that we'll be talking about. So tune in next week, same time, same place. Always remember, defense wins championships, offense wins fantasy football, and we will see you next week.